the rest of the steps virtually today, and we will spend the last day on the structuring deals. Why do we only spend less than a day on structuring deals? Because there's only one structure. One. There isn't any other. One. I'm going to say it again. One. No matter what the deal is, no matter what the industry, one. I'm going to say it again. One. What homework do we still have outstanding?
Goals and the people you see during the 7-day period.
Also, you could repeat what you've done in your life.
Your life.
Yeah, well, just to repeat what you've done in your life.
Okay, we'll do that off of YouTube. We don't want to stun the poor YouTube kids. And the movie you saw, Takeaway on Jobs. What else? That's the second movie on jobs. Psycho. Pardon? Now, while I was alive, they didn't. Well, while the people are alive, they never make the movies about them. There's a lot of reason for that, and mainly because they're afraid of lawsuits. But after they're dead, the families want the money, and then the movies come out. And just as there have been movies about Henry Ford and etc. Normally they come out first a bunch of movies come out 5 or 10 years after the individual dies, and then the next set of movies come out many, many years afterwards. And then there's a renewal. Okay, he's a psycho, he's ruthless, what else? Didn't allow the facts to distort him. He doesn't confuse his reality with the facts. A good example of that is when when we were having the big show, and his head guy said that we can't do it. And he said, well, we got to do it. And then they bogused it up at the end to get it through, which is not unusual, actually. You guys, I say this, most people would have canceled or made some excuse with your tail between your legs, as opposed to what he did. And you'll see that the facts do not get in the way of high-performance leadership. Whereas you're spreadsheeting the facts as opposed to pulling the trigger. We talked about yesterday afternoon success leads clues, and we went through a series of 10 or 15 things that the guys and the gals that you hold in high esteem do. Most of which those habits, those traits, are lacking in this room. And they're lacking in this room because of all the reasons we've already talked about. What else about Steve? Yeah, he had very good. There are people that have better communication skills than he does. Failure is not an option. Correct. All the things that you know. But when you hear Mad Dog Mattis say failure is not an option, you call him a fucking warmonger. When you hear Trump say failure is not an option, I don't know how to spell. Mad Dog said he didn't know how to spell failure. But when you hear these guys say this, they're warmongers. Now, when Charles de Gaulle said failure is not an option, I don't think anybody called him a warmonger. When Winston Churchill said failure is not an option, I don't believe that they called Winston Churchill a warmonger.
They did call Winston Churchill a warmonger.
Who did?
Before that, I know from his biography.
Oh, from before, yeah, but I mean during World War II they certainly didn't. He was a savior, and then, like all good saviors, what happens? They throw you out. Yeah. So you should have already gotten in the second day, by the second day, the flavor of how you and YouTubers are differentiated from all these people. It's heretofore that you've held in self-esteem, high regard, I should say. Heretofore, you read their biographies. So the point is, some of the YouTube guys on their comments last night were it's mixed now. We have people that hold the class in high esteem because you're here and they're not, and then you've got people that think that you're ill prepared, which that's true, and that it's not likely that you'll be able to use these tools because they're so contrary to your own personalities. What they underestimate, because they haven't seen it, is how effective the weekly report is. Even the weakest weenie under the whip gains strength. I'm going to say that again. Even the weakest weenie under the whip gains strength. You put a mouse in a corner and you antagonist. I'm not suggesting you do this. I got to always preface it because every day I get a bunch of shit from these people. If you take a mouse and you put it in a corner and you antagonize it, it gets aggressive, right? You put any kind of little animal or big animal, you don't do it with a big animal because you're afraid of the consequences. If you do it with a little animal, they get aggressive. Well, even the weakest weenie under the whip performs. The challenge is for me to get you to hone your skill sets so I don't have to whip you and you still go out and do the stuff, because the whippings only last a year. They only last a year, and then it's up to you. It's up to you. I think I told you a little over 50% of the people that come to my website are repeats. A little less than 50 are first timers. We have a number of people that come to my site more than 200 times a day. Because in the Google Analytics, you can see 200 times a day, 180 times a day, 150, blah, 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 blah. So one would think, hope, pray that the people that are coming to the site that many times are learning this stuff. Another fact anomaly is that even people in this room go to LinkedIn to read my profile. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, not 5 times, but multiple times. Now, they're giving you not the benefit of the doubt that you may be slow, that you don't grasp it all. I believe that you keep going back because of the amount of stuff that I've done. And it's so overwhelming that you need the reinforcement. I'd be very interested in any of your comments why you think you, not specifically you, but some of you in this room, go to my LinkedIn profile repeatedly. Why do you think? It hasn't changed. I haven't changed my profile and shit for 3, 4, 5 years. Why do you think? Don't pretend, or I'll put you on the spot because I know who did it. I mean, why? Why? If the words aren't changing any. Yeah.
1, procrastination. 2, to remind yourself that it's possible, because when you're out, not here, you're surrounded by people telling you that it's not. Basically.
Reaffirmation.
There are also components that are putting in.
Other people putting comments, or I'm putting comments.
It's like.
I mean, yeah, but I've only put 5 postings, I think, in 9 years. Whenever I got on LinkedIn, I've got 5 postings. One is about Harlem. One is about the Filipino kid that came from a shack in the provinces that's doing this stuff, and a couple others. So I don't use it as a conduit to feed information to you, but I think you do it to bolster your own courage, like Dutch courage when they used to take a couple of swigs of gin before they went into battle. And some of you ride my reputation fairly hard, which is fine, as long as you do it in the right way, and not the way that a couple of us have done it in recent months. And for the next year, that's fine. I'm part of the QLA Dan Peña mentor program. But when you open that door, when you open that Pandora's box, kids, you open the door to the following sets of questions that you're not thinking about. One, how long does the mentor... No, they're not asking. They're asking you. Oh, that's great. How long are you in the mentor program? Oh, I've got 9.5 months left. So he's thinking or she's thinking, then what? Do you fall to shit? Okay. 2, why isn't Dan Peña putting money in your deal? 3, why isn't Dan Peña your chairman? If you're so fucking smart, why isn't he in your deal?
He's conflicted out.
Well, a lot of truth in that, but I remember the answer. I would rather have Dan's time than money. Anyway, okay. And there's a myriad of questions that could be brought up, most of which that you may or may not be prepared to answer. They may just say that's great. The board meeting I went to in New York a couple of weeks ago, there was 2 or 3 guys in the board, all heavy hitters, that hadn't even been to my site. They hadn't link fucked me. The guy that used to be a CFO for Jack Welch, the Wharton guy, I mean, he's got better things to do than link fuck Dan Peña, which I teased him about, but anyway. So that's fine, and if you use it for motivation or motivational purpose, that's terrific. But hundreds of people, YouTubers, are doing the same thing. Repeats. Now, I can understand why you might look at my profile 2 or 3 times in a month, but I'm pressed to know why a YouTube fuck looks at my profile 10 times in a month. Other than is it flattering? Not to me, it isn't. But it goes back to what you say, procrastination. It's easier to read Dan's profile than do anything. And on that happy note, YouTubers, we'll see you after lunch today. Thank you.